everyone, and welcome back to another week. Now I know I'm a little late this week with my tutorial, and it's only because I was so busy with work and other obligations, I suppose, family life, that kind of thing. Just very busy this week, so I apologise for being a little late with this week's tutorial. I hope you don't mind, because I know a lot of you are excited to see me every week, and I look forward to putting them up every week as well, and I do try my best to get everything on time every week, but sometimes, you know, that's just life. I'm here anyway, and I'm going to do part one of this lovely scene, which I saw on a Facebook page, excuse me, of someone who follows, I think it was Pete. Let me know, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I can't remember. I tried to find the post on my Facebook page, but I couldn't find it. But he painted this lovely picture, beautiful picture of an autumn scene, like a bit of a waterfall in autumn. And I said, do you mind if I try it for a tutorial? And he was delighted. So yes, this one is for you, my friend. I hope you like it. I'll do part one. I will try and get part two done as well at the same time, but it may not be uploaded at the same time, okay? Because I have to record part one, I have to edit it on my program, on my computer, then it has to be converted, it has to be uploaded, and then I have to do part two. So it may be a day or two or three before I have part two uploaded. I hope you don't mind. I know it's nice to get everything at the same time and see it all right the way through, but it's a big painting. It's a very big painting now. It's what size is it? It's 24 inches wide by 18 inches high. And I have a frame ready for it. It's actually for my kitchen. I have a kind of a yellowy wall. It's an accent colour in my kitchen. So I have a kind of a greyish type of a kitchen walls with a yellow accent wall. And I think this lovely autumn scene on the grey wall would just be a lovely accent for the yellow. So bring a bit of colour across the room. So it's for over the table, my dinner table. So that's the plan. Okay, so I hope you like it. Lots of warm, rich colours in this, lots of autumn colours. I'll turn the camera and show you my canvas and my colours, okay? Let's have a look. Now let me turn the screen on this, and here we are. Now, let me zoom right back now. That's the canvas. I don't know if you can see a little bit of a sketch I done there. I just sketched the rock, a little bit of a waterfall in the middle, and a bit of a riverbank as well. So that's going to be the painting. Very big, you see? Really big painting. Now here's my palette, and these are my colours. A nice warm palette today, but lots of colours nonetheless. I have titanium white, naples yellow, cadmium yellow pale. I have a little bit of burnt sienna, a little touch of magenta, some crimson, alizarin crimson, some cadmium red, and I have some burnt umber, some black, and a tiny bit of blue, because I want to create some lovely mauves in the distance. Okay, I'll show you about working with mauvey colours, pinks and mauves, just to create some distance in an autumn scene. Alright, so that's it. I also have a little drop of turpentine here with a tiny drop of linseed oil in it. Now it's hardly even visible. It's a couple of drops of linseed oil. It just helps move the paint around on the canvas and makes it nice and smooth to work with and pasty. So yeah, let me see, we have some tissue, bit of masking tape for my palette. There's my phone, which I will have my photograph on, and lots of brushes, stubby brushes. Look, lots of flat brushes. I work mostly with flats, you see, a couple of small rounds, but that's it, and then some detail brushes. So that's kind of pretty much my setup here now. That's my clamp, which I use for clamping my phone, so I can look at the reference photo, and that's it. Now this is my easel. People were asking me about my easel. It's just a basic table easel, okay? You can see it, but I have this big black board screwed onto the easel, and I can just put my canvas down. I put a little bit of timber just across the bottom, so I can rest my canvas on top of this, and I can take my palette to it, and it's lovely for working on. It's nice and solid, you know. So look, that's it. Let's crack on and get this done, and I hope you like it. Don't go anywhere. Okay, there we go. Beg your pardon. Now, there's a photograph on the screen. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm interested in this photograph specifically because I can see a hint of a nice mauve up here in the center, the top center. So I'm going to experiment now with some colours, going from a nice mauve into a nice autumny kind of colours coming down at either side. And this now is going to be a lovely tutorial, a very in-depth tutorial. I know I don't do a lot of very in-depth tutorials. They're more kind of very basic sort of landscapes for beginners. But this one is going to be very in-depth. Okay, lots of little techniques. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to get a lot of different types of stuff done. Okay, and let's practice autumn. So lots of yellows, oranges and reds. Alright, so let's go. Let me roll up my sleeve here now so that we don't get paint all over it, because I'm a very messy painter sometimes, believe it or not. Now, brushes. I'm going to start with a stubby brush, my large rather, stubby brush. It's just a regular stubby brush. I have these in a set of 3. If you like, you can get some from me. Now, I had a set of 3, but I've added another one to it if you like. And it's a round stubby brush. Now, let me see if I can find it. It's here somewhere. I had it only yesterday. It's here somewhere, I don't know where, but no, it's gone. It's probably down the end of my jar somewhere, hiding on me, but it's a small round stubby brush anyway. But look, if you want these, I can send them to you, okay? Just let me know, or let's go on, pop onto my Etsy page, Stephen Conway Oil Painting on Etsy, or Stephen Conway Paintings, I think it's called. You will see these for sale on my Etsy page. You can just get them there and then, but they're fantastic. They have lovely short handles. And I know some of you were saying to me that the paint was peeling off of some of your brushes. Now, I've never ever experienced paint peeling from my brushes. I have brushes here which are over 12 months old, some of them. Now let me just see, okay, this is a fairly new one, okay, this is well worn. This is a very well worn brush. This is maybe 6 months old now at this stage, I reckon. And I've never ever experienced the paint peeling from the brush. I'll be very honest with you, okay? I actually had one in my bin next to me here. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's a very old, here, look, I have it. Now, I actually have this one about 1.5 years. You can see now how worn down this brush is from new. This is new and this is worn. Can you see that? Now that is seriously worn down brush, and I've used this for so many paintings. And look, the paint is fine, everything is fine. The brush didn't even come loose. The handle is perfectly strong. The hairs are very well glued in. So I don't know why the paint would peel off of the handle. I can only imagine that if maybe it was left in water overnight in a jar or turpentine or something, the water or the turpentine, I suppose, would get down into the ferrule and get up behind the paint underneath the lacquer. Do you understand? You see, when I'm painting and when I'm cleaning my brushes, I don't go right down into turpentine like this in the jar. I just use my brush, the hair. I only put the hair into the turpentine or the water, whatever I'm cleaning it with. It doesn't go above the ferrule ever. So that's why mine never peel. Now, I don't know if it's just a reaction with the water or if it's poor quality control in the manufacturing. I don't know, but I have never had a problem with any of my brushes peeling and cracking. Okay, it's there, you can see it for yourself. Okay, now these are very worn brushes and they're still perfect. So I do apologize if you get brushes and the paint comes off or the hairs come loose for some reason. I don't know why, I really don't, but I never ever had a problem with any of these brushes. Okay, so just to let you know, but if they do peel, if the paint does peel off of them for whatever reason, just let me know and I will send you another set free of charge. Okay, now let's crack on. I'm excited about this. I'm going to put this in the bin now because this is not much good for anything. What do you think? No? I can't do very much with this brush now. There's hardly any hair even left on it. So into the bin with this. And let's go with this. We have a lovely mauve colour up here. So I'm going to start with a lovely mauve. Now, I'm going to keep the composition nice in this. I want to keep everything together. And I'm going to show you how to work with the composition in a painting. And bring it all together. Alright, so let's go. Dip my brush in turpentine, just wet it and dab it on the brush a little bit so it's damp. Let's take a touch of blue. Now you can see how watery that is. Look, it's very wet. See it? But then I take my white and that thickens everything up nice and thick. There we go. Now I primed my canvas twice. I'm not sure how it's going to be until I put paint on. It's very difficult to know how the canvas feels until you put your first brush stroke on the canvas. It may be dry, in which case I may have to put some linseed oil over it. Let's see. Now I'll take a touch of crimson as well. I was going to say magenta, but I think the magenta might be a little cold for now. Then take more white. Now I constantly add white into this to thicken it up, okay? Because there's still a lot of turpentine in the base of the brush. See? So more white, lots more white. Keep thickening this up. Take some more crimson and touch more blue. And I'm going to keep it on kind of the red side slightly, okay? So you can see that there now. It's kind of a plum. Let me just try it. Oh, that's nice. That's not bad. Now the canvas is a little on the dry side, but it'll be fine. I reckon it'll be okay. We have this lovely kind of mauve colour up here. Now I'm just going to dry this on the brush, on the tissue, okay? Give it a dry, just to soak off some of the turpentine out of it. Let's take a bit more blue, and then some white. Now I just want to create some distance in this, so I'm adding a bit of blue just here and there off in the distance. Look, just a touch. Now I'm going to give it a clean, so I'm going to dip it in my turpentine, and this is how I clean my brushes, okay? I dip it in. It's full of turpentine, look, and then I immediately dry it on the tissue. I rub it across the tissue. And that takes the bulk of the paint off of the brush then, you see? Nice and clean again. Now it's not spotless, but most of that blue is gone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start coming out from this, and I can see this actually starting to dry into the canvas. It's still quite dry. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some tissue. Let's take a little bit of tissue, look, just a little, alright? A little bit of tissue. And I have over here some linseed oil. Let me get this oil for you. Up on my shelf, okay? Linseed oil, there it is. You can buy this in any good craft store will sell this, look, linseed oil. And I got this off a very good friend of mine, Thomas, who is a very good artist. And he follows me along, and we're great friends. We go for a coffee every now and again and have a chat. He gave me this because he wasn't using it. So linseed oil, rub it along the canvas wherever you're painting, wherever it's dry. Now I'm only rubbing this here because it's a very large area and we're painting all of this area at the same time. So I want to be able to blend and mix nicely on the canvas. So this will help just take that dryness out of the canvas. Now I suppose it's probably similar to using liquid clear, but the difference with this is this will dry slightly into the canvas. So it's not going to stay wet on the surface. It'll dry slightly into the canvas, but it will help the paint flow just that much better on the canvas, just for mixing and that kind of thing, you see. Now, so I have one layer of that linseed oil on my canvas. It's only very, very light. It's just a slightly oily surface. Now, let's go into our paint. And what I'm going to do is start making this slightly warmer as it comes out. So I'm going to start taking some magenta, some crimson, a bit of white, and a tiny bit of this blue, look. So we've a pinkish kind of a colour, see? Little bit of a pink going on, and I'm softening it into the colour that we just put on. Look, flick it around in circles, soften it right through, picking up some of the colour in the middle. And this mauve is only just a kind of a distant colour that I want. It's sort of poking through the trees here and there, and it just gives you the impression of a bit of depth in the forest, that's all. Now it doesn't make sense right now, but it will, I promise. So let's just soften all that together nicely, and then I'm going to start introducing some autumn colours into this. So I'll give this a quick wipe, again dip it in and soak it on your tissue, just to take the bulk of the paint out. And let's start getting autumny, okay? I'm going to start with some nice yellows and pinks. So let's get some yellow, and let's take a touch of crimson first, and I'll take a tiny amount of thinners in that. There we go. So I'm softening this now over into that pink just here and there, see? Because I want everything, you see, to merge together nicely. And let's take a touch of magenta, perhaps. And I suppose the trick with all of this is only kind of a base colour. So this is not going to be the finished. I'll be putting foliage and leaves and stuff over all of this. So just be careful, okay? This is not the finished colour. Now a bit of pink into that, and I'm dabbing it up into that magenta slightly, you see? Or the mauve rather. So I have a little bit of crimson, a little touch of yellow, and I'm going to dab, 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 see? Just with the corner of my brush. And that's just giving the impression of some little bits of foliage off in the distance, that's all. Now, pick up another bit of yellow there. Soften that out. Let's try a touch of sienna. And what I'm doing now is I'm picking up colours, and I'm going to try and start mixing them on the canvas as well, rather than just mixing everything on the palette. And also I'm using very, very thin mixes. They're very, very thin, really thin, okay? I want to soften all this together way off there, look. I'm just kind of flicking it around very randomly, so it's all sort of softening off into that distant colour up there. Now let me just take a look on camera. Yeah, that's not bad. I've an awful tickle in my throat lately, I don't know what it is. It's very, very annoying. And let's now start getting nice and dark around here. Now, when I'm working with scenes like this, autumn scenes in particular, I'll always put on a nice dark, rich colour first, and then I work my highlights into that, my foliage. So let's try it. I'll give you a good example, okay? I'll dampen my brush, just a bit. I'll take some crimson and a little sienna, and I want to make this a little bit on the moisty kind of side, okay? Not just thick paint, a little bit on the moisty side. Touch of magenta perhaps. And let's take a look at that. Now I'm going to go for more yellow in this. So I suppose you could say it's a very kind of an orangey, browny, orangey, autumn kind of a tone we have, see? Now, let's just put all that on there, soften it up into that yellow, here and there, you see? Soften it through. And that's the wonderful thing about oils, you can really soften colours in. Acrylics are fantastic for doing foliage if you're in a hurry, but because it dries kind of rather quickly, it's difficult then to get nice soft sort of colours like this merging together. That's why I love using these oils. Now I'll dampen my brush again, take more sienna, more magenta. I'm going for magenta now, not crimson, and a touch of yellow. And we get down here, all the way down, right down to the top of the waterfall. I'm not sure actually where this waterfall is. It could be in England somewhere, the UK, it could be in Ireland, I'm not too sure. I never checked, but it's just a lovely scene. I think it would make a fantastic tutorial as well. Now, again, I'm moistening my brush. Pick up a good dollop of yellow this time, and let's go for a touch of magenta, or maybe even crimson. Let's go over here and get some nice autumn yellow in. Soften it in there. I'm just using the tip of the brush. I'm going around in circles like this very gently to soften it up. You see? Without going too harsh on the canvas. And pick up a touch of sienna. Let's go more sienna. So wonderful, lovely, bright autumny colours in this. I love working with these kinds of colours. They're fantastic. Now, some sienna, touch of crimson. Now we're going very ready now this time, aren't we? Let's go very ready. And I know they're probably thinking, God, they're very bright colours, aren't they? Very brash. But you'll see in a moment, okay? I'm just kind of rather, I suppose, I'm just trying to cover the canvas really. Cover all the white of the canvas. This is kind of the blocking in stage. I know a lot of artists will block in like this and let it dry and then continue working. But I like to work on top of this immediately. Now, okay, let's get a bit of yellow. And I'm going to take a touch of, let me see, a touch of sienna perhaps. Now, I'm going to go up and start putting in little bits of foliage just up here, okay? We have a nice yellow foliage in the centre. So look, my brush is just loaded with yellow with a little tiny hint of sienna. And I'm going to go and start putting in suggestions of some foliage up here, look. Just using the corner of the brush. And then it's softening back into that warm colour. I'm kind of twisting my brush slightly as I go, sort of creating that foliage sort of look. As if there are some trees up there, bright yellow trees. And then it's going to soften down into this other colour, okay? There, you see? How about that? That's a nice one off in the distance. And what I want to do now is I'm going to darken all of this as well. So I'll give my brush a quick clean and I'm going to get some burnt umber, nice dark colour, some cadmium red, and I'm going to darken all of this just down at the bottom, kind of the bottom half. Okay, burnt umber, cadmium red. Let's darken this up just a bit. As you can see, I'm picking up now touches of colour and I'm just sort of mixing it on the canvas. And I'm going to dab, 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 dab to create just the impression of foliage in there as well. Okay? That's all I'm doing. Let's try some burnt sienna. I know there's a lot of green in the reference photo and I will put some green in, but I want to make it very, very kind of autumny, very yellowy orange types of colours going through. That's the kind of feeling that I'm trying to get at, you see. Now let's go over here, do a bit of that there. So I'm just darkening everything now as I go. Let's take a bit of burnt umber, and what we can do is take some yellow with the burnt umber. Now that'll give us a nice greeny colour, look, see? Let's get a nice green going in there. Soften it in. Alright, and let's go up here and add a touch of that colour around here and there. So you see, you can do a lot by just mixing on the canvas as well. So a bit of that yellow with a touch of brown, just in the centre there. Add a bit of green to the painting. brown and green, brown and yellow do make a lovely green, a lovely earthy warm green, and then you can add little flicks of colour into it, like little flicks of sienna, for example. You see, that gives it a nice warm autumny feel, doesn't it? And at the same time now, you see, I'm kind of making it my own. I don't want to copy the photograph exactly. I want to kind of create my own sort of feeling with this. Now I have the base, kind of, I suppose you could call it the base layer, finished on this. So I'm now going to take a small brush, small brush, okay? And let's get some nice branches in here, okay? And I'm thinking just burnt umber is probably just what we need. A little bit of burnt umber, plenty of turpentine, and let's just indicate with that a couple of branches popping through here and there. Just with the tip of our brush, okay? A couple coming down like so. And I've made this very thin and very watery so that it looks transparent. It's almost like a watercolour really. And it'll allow the colours underneath to kind of show through slightly as well. And remember, it's just an indication. We are putting a lot of foliage over all of this later on. It's just to add a bit of, I suppose, a bit of texture, a bit of life to the painting. You know, look, just quick little flicks. Don't be too perfect with them. And we could get a couple of dark ones if you like. One or two real dark black ones here and there. So let's go up here with one. And we can even add a little bit of light to some of these if we want, okay? You can by all means if you like. I'll show you now in just a sec. A lot of fun this. Just popping some little branches in here and there. And you can see now how the colours are really bouncing off each other. That mauvey blue up there, they're really kind of bouncing off each other. Okay, let's add a touch of light to some of these. Let's take a hint of Naples yellow. Let's take a hint of sienna. And we can add a little bit of highlighting, let's call it. Let's presume there's a bit of light coming through and hitting some of these. And we could even just put in some bright ones ourselves, just on their own as well. See? Just like that. Couple here and there. I'm thinking one or two more just up in the distance up here. You see, I'll do a lot of this now when I'm finished. When I finish the entire painting, I'll even go back and add in lots of little branches and tree trunks and stuff like that here and there at the very end of the painting, you see. Now, let's get some foliage done out here, nice foliage. I think I'll move to, you know, we could stay with this brush for a while if we wanted. Let me just sit back and take a look. Oh, I'm going to sit back and take a good look at what you're doing. Yes, I think we'll stick with this for now. And it's almost dry, okay? So I'm going to take some cadmium yellow pale, a little Naples yellow for now. And I'm going to go up here now and start putting in some nice bright foliage. You see how I have the brush? Nice and thick, and it's sort of clumped together in little bits. And let's just go. See what I'm doing? And I'm almost kind of going in one direction, kind of like this with each one. Does that make sense? Let me show you. You see? Okay, you can see how I'm keeping the brush in a certain direction all the time. Let's try a little bit of pink with yellow and a little white. And let's go up here and try a nice soft kind of a colour up here on top of this. So you can see now how I'm covering the branches here and there, you see? Sort of in little clumps of colour. A little bit of pink, a little bit of yellow. Oh, that's a nice colour now, isn't it? Look at that. So we're creating our trees as we go. Let's try some burnt sienna with some Naples yellow. Let's go in here and try that. In fact, let's try a touch of crimson with some cadmium red. Let's put in a nice, and even a touch of yellow. Let's put in a nice rich orangey kind of a one here and there as well. Because you will get those kinds of colours, won't you? Let's try a bit here, look. Nice thick paint. Don't be shy with your paint. Look, I'm going right into my yellow and I'm picking up a bit of pink. And I'll go up here and I'll put a nice autumn colour on this tree. Again, sit back every now and again, take a look at what you're doing. And we are going to do some knife work as well, so not to worry. Now lots of yellow, a bit of magenta, and let's go up here and bring that colour up. And you can see it's really thick. I'm just letting the canvas take the paint off. Pick up more yellow on its own. I want to keep lots of yellows in this because it's a real yellowy kind of an autumn scene. Let's go, more yellow. And let's start another bush down here. And soften that one back into the darkness, you see. So that's how I use the dark of the colour underneath. So I'll show you, look. I start off bright like that along the edge and then I soften it gently into the dark behind. Very gently, you see. So it almost disappears. Now let me get some crimson and some yellow and a touch of white, and this is going to be a nice bright one. There we go, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Again, I'll soften it back into that dark, see? Very gently dabbing, dab, 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 dab. Isn't that lovely? Okay, let me see now how we're looking. I think just a bit up here. Perhaps some yellow, some magenta and some white. Now they're not mixed, you see. Let me zoom in here and show you. You can see all the colour on the brush just sitting there, clumps of colour. So let's go up here now and do this. There, look, see? And another thing we can do is, let's try the palette knife. Okay, let's get our palette knife. Very simple palette knife. And let's take some yellow and some magenta and a bit of white, look. Let's mix those together, just very loosely. And then let's go up and let's just take a look now and see what we can do with this. Let's give it a couple of flicks here and there. Okay. Now that's creating some nice texture, isn't it? It's just about making it full of different types of textures and varying the painting, okay? You know, it's a lot of fun. Just try it. Now let me get some red. I'm taking some red, look. And I'm going to go up here with some nice strong patches of red. Just little patches here and there, see? Let's take some yellow with that red. So you can kind of see now what I'm trying to get at. Nice blasts of colour. Let's do the same over here, look. Let's give this one a little bit of sienna with some yellow. Let's take some red with sienna. And it's just about suggesting, I suppose, different types of foliage on the trees. It doesn't have to be all the same, like dab, dab, dab. It can be completely different here and there. Let's go up here and just hold my canvas here out my finger like that. And put a couple of flicks of colour through it here and there, look. I'm just scraping it around with the knife. I'm not being fussy, I'm just allowing the knife to dance around on the canvas. And that's what makes it fun. You have to make painting fun. If it's not fun, it's just not enjoyable, is it? There now, see? How's that? Now, isn't that lovely? Isn't that a lovely, colourful, autumny scene we have up there? And then what I'm going to do is take some nice rich black, okay, with my pointy brush, and I'm going to go over some of this with some nice pointy black. Okay? And I might even come down into the painting as well. Okay, so a bit of burnt umber. And you can even use this pointy brush as well. So you could put a couple of little flicks here and there with that. Look, isn't that lovely? I have to say now, this is a lot of fun doing this. It's just keeping it simple. I'm not worried right now if I make a mess of this or what happens. I'm just enjoying it. And I think sometimes that's the best attitude to have. Don't worry about making a mess. Just, I suppose, the only advice I can give you is try not to overdo it. You have to kind of know when to stop. Let's put a little bit of a red, end of a bush up there, a hint of it there, touch of yellow. You have to kind of know when to stop and not to keep going, because sometimes if you keep going, you will spoil the painting. I think that may be enough. Again, I don't want to spoil this, you see. I just want to give it just a little hint of colour just here and there. Perhaps a touch of it just there. Another hint of it around there. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll leave that as it is for now. And I might, just let me take a look at the reference photograph. I might add a couple of dark little bushes here and there, just above the waterfall, okay? So I'm going to take another flat brush, but it's quite a worn brush, and it's dry. So I'm going to take a touch of burnt umber, and a touch of crimson. I'm just going to go along here and there on the top of the waterfall, and just create little bushes with this. Take a burnt sienna. And perhaps let's take a touch of black with red. There is a couple of really dark patches just here and there. And that'll help kind of separate the top from the bottom of the painting. And then I'm going to just add a little touch of colour here and there to some of those. See, just like that. A little bit there. Okay, that'll do. So we now have 90% of the top half of this painting finished. 90%. We are going to have a lot of bushes merging down in here, so I'm going to bring this colour down slightly. So I'm going to dampen my large brush, and again I'm going to go for some burnt umber, burnt sienna, and a little crimson, let's say. And this is a very dark area, so let me just block it in first. Okay, like this. Perhaps a touch of black. Scrape it through. Pick up some red. Okay, so we have that done there now. And then I'm going to try and merge all these bushes into one. Do you understand? So I'm going to take some yellow first, and I'm going to put in some yellow. Nice yellow bushes. And I'm bringing it down, you see, so it's falling down on the rock. Let's take a touch of red with a touch of yellow. Bring that down, see? Run it right down. And soften it right in. We have a lovely orangey colour there, don't we? Which I really want to show off. We just put a light on that there. A couple of lights here and there. That. So you can see now how everything is almost merged in together, hasn't it? Okay, a little bit there. So already you can see we already have a riverbank done. Almost done. Okay, not completely done, but we're kind of getting there with it. Then let's take our palette knives. Let me get some more yellow on my palette. And I'm not forgetting now we have a lot of dark rocks in here as well. So I might even take some brown with my palette knife. So I don't know if you can see my bald patch in the back of my head. That's something you don't want to be looking at. But time is against me, and I'm losing my hair. Isn't that right? Now, let me just pull some of that brown with the black down here and there. Look, see? Just like so. Even take a bit more black. Again, I sit back, take a little look at that. Yeah, that looks quite nice. I might add a touch of light to some of those rocks. So I'm picking up a touch of Naples yellow, and I might just give a little bit of a scrape here and there. Just a hint. Okay, a hint only, that's all. Then I'll take my palette knife, get some yellow, take a bit of white, and I'm going to just start maybe add little dabs of colour just here and there. Okay, just little dabs. Take a touch of red. Okay, you see? Just to suggest splashes of colour here and there on the rock, little bushes and all sorts of things. So you can see now I've done a lot of that with the palette knife, haven't I? Okay, now let's go to the second side. Yes, let's try that. So again, I'm going to dampen my large brush. I'll take some burnt umber, I'll take some cadmium red, and I'll just, I suppose, fill in that side with this dark colour. A little bit of crimson. And let's try a little bit of white in there. Or sorry, a bit of yellow. Okay, so we're merging everything together now slightly, you see? Now, let me just take a look here now. There's a couple of parts of the painting I'm just not feeling, I'm not happy with. I'm thinking I might soften some of the colours up in the background. I might soften them slightly. I think they might be a little bit on the harsh side, just some of them. I don't want the background taking over the painting, you see. Okay, that's probably even alright there now. I won't overdo this. Yeah, I think that'll do fine. I just wanted to take the edge off of some of the colours up there. Because it was just very, very sort of impeding on the painting. There we go. I think softening some of them has helped. Now, we have some lovely rocks down here, don't we? I'm going to start putting those in. Now, I will be working on these more, don't worry. This is all just a very general, just a kind of an undercoat, a base layer, we'll say. Alright? I will give them a lot more form as we move forward. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to do these ones here now just to show you, alright? Let's take some black. And let me see now, some crimson and some black. I'm going to pick out the shadows in some of these rocks here, okay? So we have a nice shadow kind of coming along there, like so. And we have a nice shadow kind of down here, don't we? Let's get some burnt umber on that. Alright. Now, I'm going to get a flat brush. I'm going to get a nice kind of a flashish brush now, alright? Something with a nice fine, flat kind of a tip to it. Something like, let me see now. I have one here somewhere. Okay, this kind of a one will do, okay? Something nice and flat. And let me see, can you see everything that I'm doing here now? Yes, you can. You can just about see everything. I'm going to start adding some brighter colours to that. With a dry brush, try some Naples yellow, and I'm going to take some pink, some crimson, and a touch of the white. Now I'm going to start pulling down like so, okay? And this is, again, the very early stages of highlighting these rocks. I'm just going to soften it a way up, like so. Let's take a bit of yellow, because we do have touches of yellow here and there on those. And we can also use the palette knife as well, and I will do in a moment. This is all just very loose work around that I'm just getting done here, okay? Now, let me just sit back for a moment to take a look. Okay, I'm going to add some nice autumny type of colours to this. Bit of yellow. Let's take a bit of yellow. And let's take a touch of red with some sienna. Just indicating some of the little touches of autumn leaves and grass here and there. And you know, I don't want to overcomplicate the painting. I don't want to be going too far with the painting. Let's add some texture to these rocks. I'm going to go for a mauve colour. So I'm going to take some magenta, some blue and some white just for now. And I might even just take a hint of naples yellow. Now I want this kind of more on the pinky side of mauve. That would probably even do. Okay, there we go. Little hints of that colour. And let's put a little touch of that here. Okay, you can see now how I'm complementing all of this, and we could even do the same of this now on the other side as well if we wanted to. Okay. Take a touch more of the blue, and let's try a little bit of that colour, because it's going to look very odd if we have that colour on one side of the painting and not on the other side. So that's what I mean about the composition. About getting the composition right. It's about using the same colours throughout your painting so that everything then is tied together. Okay, there we go now. Okay, stop now for a moment to take a look at this. See how that's looking. That's not bad. We're getting there slowly. Now I'm going to soften some of those with my soft brush. Just going to soften one or two of them down. Then I'm going to start creating some real dark colours on these rocks over here with a small brush. So I'm going to take a small flat brush, okay, a nice clean flat brush. I'll take some black. I'll take a bit of crimson and a little dab of turpentine, and I'm going to add some nice rich dark colours to some of these over here, okay? Let me get some burnt umber into the mix. So we have a nice strong dark there. And we have a nice one coming along here as well. And let's take some, go up perhaps into the bush up here. And let's go somewhere over here. I'll just add a little bit here and there on this side, and it's a very warm colour going on over here. So a lot of red in this. Look, I'm building up layers now as I go. I'm slowly building up these layers. I might take a touch of sienna with naples yellow, and I might go over some of these pinky colours just with that. They may be a little bit on the pink side. So a little touch there. See, I'm kind of changing it as I go. I'm looking at the composition. If it doesn't look right, I'm just going to change it. And I think it's probably wise to kind of go along slowly, bit by bit, and don't just go and do your rocks all at once. I will probably just change these again, if I'm quite honest. Because I can see the canvas is very, very dry today, and it's just not really kind of helping me out as such. It's just really, really dry, and the colours are not sitting the way they normally would for me on the canvas. So I may have to just go over these rocks again completely and do them all over again. I'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to take a pointy brush now and just start adding some finer details to the rocks. See how we can get them looking. So I'll go for a nice little pointy brush that we have here. I'll get some black and I'll outline some of the really rich darks now with the black. There, we have some there, and I'm going to put a nice one down in here, like that, sort of. They almost kind of disappear, don't they? The darks, they almost merge down into the autumn colours underneath, don't they? And then I get some nice little bits here by the riverbank. Okay, you step back now, just take a look at this. Okay, it's not too bad. We move over to the next side. As I said, I will probably just keep going over these rocks until I get them right, because I find the thing with painting is you'll never get it perfect the first time. So I think it's a bit better now with this pointy brush. It's allowing me to create little ridges and get those nice dark spots in the rock. Let me go along here. We have a nice darks across there. Okay, there we go, and I'll create bright spots of some of these rocks. Alright, just like that, and perhaps some sienna with white. Let me get a nice, perhaps even a touch of red. Let me get a nice warm one there on that. So, let's get a nice bright one here and there. And it is very sort of hit and miss when painting something like this. Let's add a touch of sienna in there. Let's pick up a touch of yellow actually. Get some autumn colour going. Okay. Now I'll take my palette knife and I'm going to take some yellow with a hint of red. And I'm going to put some nice autumn colours across here. Okay. I'm going to add some nice colour across. Bring some down here as well. Take a bit of red, some sienna and some yellow. So we got some nice mixtures of colours going on. A little bit across there like that. And isn't it just amazing you can do an awful lot of work just with your knife. I love using the knife sometimes just for this kind of thing. Now, okay, that's not bad. I think I'll call that part 1 and we can come back to it again another time. But for now, I'm kind of fairly happy now with this. I'll be fairly confident. I think it's going to turn out wonderful. Let me put a little bit of this just along the sides here on the riverbank. We are really now making this our own, aren't we? Need a touch of red for this. There's a lot of red going on in there. We'll come back and we'll do more on the rocks later, I think. The rocks are just not working for me at all today. They just don't want to do what they're told. I think it's just one of those days. We all have them, isn't that right? We all have times in a painting where it feels like it's just not working. And I think this is one of those times. So I may have to go back over these rocks again. I'm not 100% sure, but it's just not working for me. I just cannot get the rocks the way I want them. So look, that's okay. We'll go over some of it later in the next tutorial. Until then, I will be right back. Now I'm not sure when I will be back with the next tutorial. It may be tomorrow, it may be the next day, but we are going to finish it and it's going to look wonderful. In the meantime, happy painting. I hope you can follow me along and just give it a try. And just even go this far, you can do some yourself as well. You can make up your own as you go along. But let's just have a bit of fun, okay? I'll see you next time. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for watching.